It's more than just training. It's more than just nutrition. It's more than just sleep. Fat loss is more than just the physical component. If you don't master the mental component, if you don't have the right perspective, then you will always fail. You might succeed for 4 weeks, you might succeed for 8 weeks, you might succeed for 16 weeks or even a year. But if you don't have the right mental perspective, you will eventually fail. And this, guys, this is why yo-yo dieting is so common. That is why that yo-yo dieting is the norm. That going back and forth between fat loss and weight gain is the norm. How often do you meet someone, or how often do you yourself lose weight and keep it off without ever worrying about it again? That's the problem, because the answer is almost never. And we can fix that. We can fix that. We can make it so that the mental component overrides everything else. And that will allow you to succeed in the long term. But before you can just understand the mental component, you need to understand perspective. And if you don't understand perspective, if you don't truly understand what's realistic and possible, then you will always be setting yourself up for failure. In order to understand this, and specifically for fat loss, you need to know that fat loss is like a bank. Let me tell you. Let's say you just opened a bank account, okay? $0 in it. You just opened it, brand new. It's a little bit scary to look at, right? There's nothing in it. You want to get to the point where there's tons of money in it, but that's going to take a lot of work. You're going to have to spend a lot of time taking everything you make and dumping it in there. You don't have a lot of wiggle room. You're not going to have a lot of room to take money out and spend it on things that you want just because you want to. You have to spend a lot of time working and depositing money into that bank account for years, for a long time. Eventually, you'll see that the money in that bank account is growing and growing and growing. You're getting more, you're saving more. Now you have a little bit more wiggle room. Want to buy that TV? Throw that out. No problem. Why is that not a problem? Because number one, you have a lot saved up. Number two, you have systems created to get more money back into the bank account. That's how fat loss works. When you first start trying to lose fat, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. You need to take a lot of time and a lot of effort and put everything you have into fat loss. You probably shouldn't be going out and going crazy indulging, having a lot of tasty, desserts and cakes and ice creams. You should dedicate everything you have to getting your diet in check, to getting your nutrition on point, training there, your mindset right. Everything should be devoted to that if that's what you really want to achieve. As you progress, as you get better, as you understand fat loss more, and as you gain more ground and lose more fat and understand what it takes, then you have more leeway. Then you can start becoming what's called a flexible dieter. Then you can start incorporating more of those unhealthy foods into your diet. Then you can start saying, you know what, I'll be able to incorporate this, maybe a cake or a pizza or whatever, because now not only do you have more leeway because you've done so much already, but you have systems to get back on track immediately, and that's what it's all about. You have systems. You know what it takes. There's no ambiguity, there's no guessing. You know exactly what you have to do to get back on track immediately. And that's what separates someone who can do this for the long term versus someone who's only in it for the short term. And if you want to lose fat for the rest of your life and stay lean and have a six-pack and look really good for the rest of your life, you need to understand that systems and perspective will take you there. So remember, fat loss is like a bank. If you want a bank account full of money, you better be willing to put in a lot of work and a lot of time to saving money, working really hard, putting it in, and not taking it out. That's like fat loss. If you really want to lose fat and keep it off, you better be willing to spend a lot of time and effort and dedication to getting your nutrition right, getting your training right, sleeping well, and creating the lifestyle suitable for fat loss. As you get better and as you progress, you won't have to devote as much time or mental energy to it. But if you don't spend that initial part, that initial time dedicated to changing your perspective and changing your lifestyle, you will never succeed in the long term. Fat loss is like a bank. Do you have what it takes to fill that bank up or not? That's up to you.